All right, y'all, it is literally all collapsing. The house of cards, the narrative, the whole everyone hates Venezuela, everyone hates Donald Trump. He's stealing the oil right from underneath him. He's going to liquidate it and give it to all his buddies. The entire dim narrative that they quickly threw out is falling apart because this little thing called history is only making it worse. I'm going to show you clips on clips on clips that are going to absolutely damn this narrative to the pits of hell. Then I'm going to show you some other things of it's about the oil. Oh yeah, it's about the oil, but it's not quite what the lefties are trying to tell you it's about. And then we're going to have some fun together, of course, as you guys get in here. It's the 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time live stream show every single night. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are on a mission and striving to save the country from this lefty mind virus that seems to be taking hold in certain states, but fear not. We are holding firm like the bastions on the wall, the men in black, saving the universe, and also the guys in black on the wall in the north in the Game of Thrones. We got analogies for days, but it's going to be a good one, guys. So let me hear you in the comments, the chats, and the emojis. This one, you're going to want to send out to everybody because I've got the best stuff lined up in front, followed up with a even greater dessert. This episode is going to be everything. I've been waiting for all of this to come together, and it just freaking did. All right. Of course, all the emojis, the chats, the comments, they make the world go round. I'm going to put the comment in there, pin it, and once I do, we'll be good to go. So, chats, emojis, comments, make the world go round. And then once I pin it, you guys know the rules. The early bird gets the worm, and you guys are the early birds, so let's get it. The birds are in, the worms are taken off. Let's get it. All right. I always start these live streams off a little bit different than my traditional long-form videos of 8 to 10 minutes every single day, usually 2 times a day, followed by a live stream, starting off with a short. But this is a special little treat. We always do the appetizer of irony. Funny, humor, and then sometimes just straight on sarcasm and mocking the lefty mind virus. Okay, it turns out, guys, there's big news coming out of New York. Yep. Your favorite socialist, not the one who just got deposed and is arrested in New York. Not that one. The other socialist, our version, the New York version. Yeah, it turns out that he's officially raised subway fares to $3 after stating that everything would be free. I tell you what, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Just going to let that sit there for the pause for effect vibe. Yeah, socialists are all the same, just like you know. All right, let's keep on going. We got even more great stuff. This one is going to be incredible. All right, this sets up. This gets us going. This lays the plate, sets the table, if you will, for everything that I'm about to show you and why the narrative is falling drastically apart for the Democrats. Okay, this is the key point. They don't do anything without focal group testing. They don't do anything without understanding the political implications. How's it going to best benefit them? They're politicians. That's what they do. Great, awesome. The approval rating of Trump's actions in Venezuela amongst Hispanics. Now that seems important. Hold on a second. Support, 40%, which is +7 over oppose, which is 33%, and that's a YouGov poll. Now, why is that important? Excellent question, viewer. Excellent question. I hear you. The reason that's important is because Donald Trump was able to take the White House, the Congress, the House, and the Senate through the support with the Hispanic demographic. That was a very big thing. Yanked it right out from underneath the Democrats. They thought they had a lock on it, just like they do every other demographic group. That's not, this. So this is reinforcing the whole Hispanic vote going into the GOP caucus and the GOP tent. That's why this is important. That's why you're seeing the Democrats do the things I'm about to show you. Again, all of this is connected, from the First Amendment stuff to the international politics to the geopolitics to the yoinking of socialist dictators to oil control in Venezuela, which actually has an impact on greater things than Venezuela. All of this is connected, all the way to the Second Amendment rights, all of it. Because they do everything through focal group testing. That's what they care about. All right, it's all about their own power. But I want to show you how that narrative is getting really uncomfortable. And of course, let me hear you in that chat, the comment, the emojis, and of course that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on, because we are taking a trip down memory lane, which is no friend to Chuck Schumer right now. And I don't know what they did in the Senate Democrats, but their rush to get on cameras, it's going to backfire, and it's backfiring right freaking now. We're going to start, because, hierarchy is important, with Chuck Schumer in 2020. We're going to follow him up with a Chuck Schumer today, and you just tell me when it gets a little uncomfortable. All right. Take it away, Chucky. I love to hear you. I love to hear you so much. First, of course, is Chuck Schumer 2020. Let's get it, Chuck. Take us home.
He brags about all these things he wants to do or is doing, but his actions belie his words. Maybe the best metaphor was his claim to bring democracy to Venezuela. There was a big policy there. It flopped. If the policy was working, Juan Guaido wouldn't be in the balcony here. He'd be in Venezuela.
Wow. That's a fly in the ointment. I mean, like, if it was working and Donald Trump didn't suck, guys, this is going to be a fun episode. I'm telling you, you're going to like all of this. It's like the Men's Warehouse. I guarantee it. It's weird because if it was working, Maduro would not be the dictator and socialist dictator of Venezuela. Well, now he's the socialist dictator of a 5x5 cell. So anyway, let's just keep on going. Again, this is where it's going to fall apart because they were screaming about how evil Donald Trump was, that he didn't do anything. Now that he does something, he's evil again. It's almost like the gas prices thing. Oh my God, he's so evil because gas prices are so high, and he hates every American because gas prices are so high, and his buddies in the oil companies, gas prices proceed to fall off a cliff. Oh, we're in a recession because Donald Trump hates everybody. It's a plug and play. That's what it is. It's like, if this happens, then that. I mean, literally. That's why I do these things. I link everything in the description. But let's keep on going. Take us home, Chucky. I got 2 minutes and a half of this. This is glorious.
He'd be sitting in the president's palace, or at least waging a fight to win. He's here. And the president brags about his Venezuela policy? Give us a break. He hasn't brought an end to the Maduro regime. The Maduro regime is more powerful today and more entrenched today than it was when the president began.
So what can...
Okay, so that was 2020, and I swear to you, on these live streams, I need to install a button on this little production thing that has crickets. And like maybe one that like zooms into my eyes, because holy crap, if it worked, he wouldn't be in power. Pause for a dramatic effect. Okay, now we're here, guys. Now we're in 2026. So this is Chuck Schumer 2026. That was Chuck Schumer 2020. This is Chuck Schumer 2026. Watch.
Congress do about it is the next question.
Well, the next question is very simple, and that is that we have the War Powers Act. That's a privilege resolution, which means the Republicans can't block it. Tim Kaine and I and Rand Paul are sponsors of it. It's going to come to the floor this week. And if it is voted for, if it's voted positively in both houses, then the president can't do another thing in Venezuela without the okay of Congress. We have to pass it.
President Trump say that he intends for the United States to run Venezuela. It was reckless. It was dangerous. And looking at the president's demeanor, he didn't even seem to be aware of how dangerous and reckless it is.
2020. He's so pathetic, Maduro ran him over. It's amazing how strong Maduro is and how weak Donald Trump is. And if he really was tough and strong, he would have not had Maduro in presidential power. He would be, in jail and stuff. Fast forward 6 years, Donald Trump yanks him, yoinks him, pulls the old Uno reverse, gets him out of an entire military base in a pristine operation from our amazing people in the military. And now it was reckless and it was mean and it was bad. Everything that I was calling for in 2020 is obviously stupid now. It was clearly smart then because I was the smartest person in the room back then. But now that they did what I said to do back then, currently it's the stupidest thing because I'm still the smartest person in the room. Y'all, listen to me, hear me, please, for the love of God. You have to understand what is occurring and it's going to occur for the rest of Donald Trump's term. It's occurred for 10 years. It's just now getting to a terminal phase. It's plug and play. It doesn't matter. The constant guiding light is genuinely Donald Trump resist evil bad. It doesn't matter what the man does. It doesn't matter if he secures the oil reserves in Venezuela to prevent China, Russia, and Iran from having sway in the hemisphere of which we share with Venezuela. It doesn't matter if you take out a socialist dictatorship regime that stole elections, destroyed elections, stayed in presidential power, killed the population, took all the wealth of the country for themselves and his elite officers. None of that matters. But by the way, on the other side of the coin, Donald Trump's an elitist and an oligarch, and Elon Musk is also evil, and billionaires are a failure of our culture, and billionaires are the issue and a symptom of sickness, and all the money and wealth in the top 1% is evil, except when it's okay in Venezuela, because Nicolas Maduro is obviously Venezuelan. I mean, literally, guys, It's whatever suits the moment of the TV hit. And they think, and they know in most cases, that their lefty mind virus Democrat liberal supporters that watch mainstream media won't remember 5 minutes ago when they were doing all of these things. This is literally why this is comical. And I'm only on Senator 1 out of 3. All right, let's keep on going. I mean, I need you in the chats, comments, and emojis. It gives me life, gets the show going. Let's get it.
Let me be clear. Maduro is an illegitimate dictator, but launching military action without congressional authorization, without a credible plan for what comes next, is reckless. Now, I was in the skiff on 3 different occasions, as recently as December, and I asked the administration, I asked them, are you pursuing regime change? Are you intent on taking military action in Venezuela, Venezuelan territory? And they assured me that they were not pursuing those things. Clearly, they're not being straight with the American people.
You aren't the American people, Chucky. You literally have led an entire character assassination, White House administration assassination, anything and everything Donald Trump character assassination, anything and everything has been political, everything is leaked, and you're upset that they're not telling you stuff? You are a snake in the grass. Of course they're not going to tell you stuff. Why would they tell you anything? You've proven yourself to be nothing but a political operative, and you're only meant to resist Trump because I'm Chucky Schumer. I mean, like, between him and Bernie Sanders, collectively, they're 189 years old, and all they do is worry about their power from the far left. I mean, like, my God, I can't imagine why they didn't tell you shit. Anyway, let's keep on going. Enough of the old decrepit guy. Now let's get to something a little more spry. This guy's only like 60. All right. This is Senator number 2. Senator Chris Van Hollen. Now, I covered this in the earlier videos. Again, we are just getting started. So if you're just now tuning in, enjoy this thoroughly. Like, subscribe, hit all the buttons, notifications, comments, chats, emojis. It gives us life. Share it. Okay. Trump and his cronies can try to dress this up, but it's an illegal act of war to replace Maduro and grab Venezuela's oil for his billionaire buddies. And again, I showed you the statement, but it's all about oil. I told you the second that bombs were dropping, and I told you the second that they had this guy literally en route back to New York, the move they were going to go was oil and the oligarchs taking money and Trump evil oil buddies. I told you that's exactly where they were going to go. Because, simple reason, you got unauthorized, in their mind, action in military in Venezuela. They yoinked the socialist dictator out of Venezuela. There's oil involved, there's money involved, there's rich involved, there's assets involved, there's oil companies involved, which ultimately means there's carbon issues, and then there's climate change involved. This is like some of their sacred cows. It's not a difficult thing to tell you where they're going to be upset. Okay? Like I said, once you once you decode the lefty mind virus, it's pretty much like a, again, if this, then that. But this is what the big thing was oil. Okay, this is a Democratic senator, Senator Chris Van Hollen. He's very mad yesterday. Very, very mad. He's got the feels. He's upset. He is just, and oh my God, it's the same guy in 2024. Man, I might have to turn on the sarcasm button in a second. We're getting into like real sarcastic area. Let's just play this. Maybe I'm making this into something and it's not. A mountain out of a molehill, if you will. A jackass out of a donkey. Whatever it is. Watch this.
Well, we stand with the Venezuelan people who overwhelmingly, it turns out, voted for Gonzales and against Maduro. This is why many of us called immediately for transparency, for the Maduro government regime to release the results. And there's a reason, Jose, that they hid those results, because we now know, because we've seen results that were released by some of the opposition figures from about 80% of the polling places, that Gonzales has, won comfortably here. And so this is clearly an effort to deny the will of the people. Maduro lost, right? He is trying to cling on to this claim of legitimacy that he won when all the evidence shows otherwise. So this is why Secretary Blinken did, in my view, the right thing, recognizing the real winner here, Gonzales. And this is why the United States is now going to use its levers and influence to push for a negotiation, to have a transition to the...
Okay. I'm shocked and appalled. only a year and a half now ago when Biden was in the White House and Blinken was his Secretary of State. You know, that guy. He deemed him illegitimate. So he stole the election. He refused power. He didn't step down, which would make him an election denier. So, I mean, like, man, we should really do something about this. Fast forward to a year and a half later, Trump pulls the old yoink, and oh my God, it's about oil. Well, that's kind of weird. Was it about oil when you were saying that they needs to be dethroned and deposed, and he needs to walk out, and you need to use the levers of power in your partnerships in the region? You see how this works, guys? When they have power, this is unbelievable. This is a threat against democracy, a threat against humanity. This is incredibly horrible. And oh my God, I can't believe we would ever do anything like this and see this in the modern day. Trump does it, and it's like, nope, it's for oil, money, evil, carbon, climate. I mean, like, my God. And it is, by the way, it is about oil. I'm going to show you in a second what it's about oil. But anyway, I'm just enjoying the hypocrisy because it speaks volumes. I don't even need to say a lot. I just happen to be very verbose. All right, let's keep on going. The comments, the chats, the emojis, guys, I'm loving every second of it. Keep it going.
Truly elected leader Gonzalez. Now, obviously, we know Maduro and his cronies do not want to go quietly into the night, but the United States needs to work with our partners, allies in the region to ratchet up the pressure on behalf of the Venezuelan people. Well,
oh, I'd say we ratcheted up the pressure on behalf of the Venezuelan people with the partners in the region, all right? I mean, like, my God, like, come on. You know what? Maybe I'm just being outlandish. Maybe 2 is not enough. Maybe 2 is not indicative. 2 out of 48 of them, 46 of them. Oh my God, a third one. Yeah. We're going to go back to 2024 again, and this one's Chris Murphy. Now who's next? Oh, Chris Murphy. I saved the most vile for last. I do not like this guy. This guy will take any right you have. He is a talking head, and whoever pays him the most does whatever. He does whatever they want. But it's weird, again, 2024, same time as that guy was just talking. Chris Murphy's really upset about Venezuela. I mean, there's got to be something.
So over the past decade, Nicolas Maduro, the brutal dictator of Venezuela, has presided over a stunning collapse of the Venezuelan economy that has caused nearly 8 million Venezuelans to leave that country, most of which destined for the United States. Part of the reason why we saw 10,000 people showing up at the border every day last year, a number that the United States just can't handle with current resources, because of the meltdown of the Venezuelan economy. And so it's no surprise that in the election that was held this week, Maduro clearly lost. The briefings that I've received today suggest that Maduro not only lost, he probably lost in a landslide and is attempting as we speak to steal the election. If he's successful, not only will Venezuela continue to spiral into political and economic chaos, but you will see more people come to the southern border. Maduro is now in a corner. We're working with our allies and our partners in the region to try to force him to accept the results of this election.
Well, I guess you could say Donald Trump worked with his allies and partners in the region because yoink. You guys, you can't make this stuff up. Okay, that was again 2024. Chris Murphy. This is one of the leading Democrats in the Senate. Okay, now let's go to now. I mean, again, I can do this all day, and the media is coming next. Watch this. So this is Chris Murphy today. Watch.
In 2019, you wrote an op-ed and you called for Maduro to be gone. You said, let's get one thing straight. There should no longer be any debate about Maduro's lack of democratic legitimacy. The Trump administration is right to put restoring Venezuelan democracy at the center of our approach to this crisis. A return to a stable democracy is in the interest of the Venezuelan people and the United States and the hemisphere. We don't know what's going to happen with regard to the civilian leadership there. Tom Cotton was just here saying that he hopes that there are democratic elections. Isn't that what you want?
Well, the rest of that article right, was a criticism of President Trump's early moves to saber rattle around regime change.
Yeah. Someone just said in the comments, hip check. Yeah. This is what you call delicious. Okay. And by the way, I just want to hit something really quickly. Everything that Chris Murphy said in that article and in his interview that I've shown you now twice, I've shown you the excerpt that CNN, Dana Bash is even going like, isn't this a little uncomfortable because you kind of said the same thing and now they did it? And then he goes, well, yeah, but in that article, I also said something else. It doesn't matter what else you said in the article, dillhole. What you said right there was secure the hemisphere, secure the country for the Venezuelan people. He's an illegitimate president, and he's got indictments out for his arrest. I mean, like, my God, you want to just support him a little bit more? But this is the game. They literally, they just lie. That's all they do. It doesn't matter if you've got them on tape. It doesn't matter if you've got articles. It doesn't matter if you've got all the Democrats going, oh, Trump is so pathetic for not being able to do anything with Maduro. Maduro literally gets like stricken Air Force One out. And oh my God, now he's evil. These people are just disingenuous. It is literally, it writes itself. And their narrative is falling apart, which is the whole point behind what you're seeing them do in the media right now. And in the punditry, and in the politicians. They're doing this little thing, right? Democrats, the talking points clearly went out, right? The little thing they're doing is, you gotta say Nicolas Maduro is really, really bad and how brutal of a dictator is, but then you also have to say how bad Donald Trump is, while still not navigating the idea that Donald Trump got rid of the really, really brutal bad thing that you're saying is really, really bad, but still Donald Trump is bad too, even though he got rid of the thing that you said is really, really bad, he's still bad. You see, it doesn't play. It just doesn't work. And I'm about to show you the implications on a broad base, which I'm going to do a later video on how Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's become just whoa and completely wrong, because apparently there's a job available on the left. More come on that later. But anyway, this is the Biden administration. Guys, special note. If you do not miss listening to this buffoon talk, who's perfectly fine and completely cogent, the sharpest he's ever been. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my God, like, I miss this. Watch this. This is about Biden talking about the big deal they struck with Venezuela while he still stayed in power. Oh, come on. Boo. Sometimes X does this to me, guys. Hold on. It's a really good clip. I really hope it works out. I'll get it. Hold on. I got to hit the right button.
Administration also recently rolling back sanctions in exchange for the promise of free and fair elections. Here was President Biden when he was asked about criticism of the deal.
It's okay because we've freed Americans, people who were held illegally, and we made a deal with Venezuela with the whole free election. So far, they've maintained their requirements, and that's it.
Should I just, should I add commentary to that? Blah, 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 free and fair election, blah, 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 and that's it. Yep. That was the president of which we had before, and the Dems and the lefties said that was a normal time. The dude, he was fine though. He was fine the whole time. Best president we ever had, according to the lefties. Dude can't formulate a sentence. Okay, that was in 2023. That was before he decided to run for president. Thanks, by the way. Yeah, legitimately. That there's a free and fair election. We made them do it. Yeah, they stayed in power. Trump comes in, makes a few phone calls. Rubio gets on. He's like, yeah, screw all y'all, and he goes at it. I mean, like, my God, our military executes a perfect, flawless victory. If you played Mortal Kombat growing up, you know, flawless victory is exactly what they pulled off. But anyway, that's where we were. Let me hear in the comments, the chats, the emojis. We still have more hypocrisy to unpack, unravel. How about some media? This is 2019. Donald Trump's a buffoon and pathetic for not being able to do this. I showed you this again. Here we go.
Support for Venezuela's self-declared interim president Juan Guaido seems to have diminished. Strongman Nicolas Maduro is still in power as Russia's support for him remains steadfast, sending a clear message to the world of America in retreat and Vladimir Putin filling the void.
And you know, it's remarkable because Vladimir Putin isn't even that popular here in Russia right now because of the bad economic situation and a botched pension reform. So these foreign policy gifts that he keeps getting from President Trump.
And you get the idea. By the way, X is having an aneurysm. I don't know why it's been happening recently. But you get the whole idea. The whole idea is Donald Trump's a buffoon. Donald Trump's getting played by Vladimir Putin. Donald Trump is letting Maduro stay in power. He should kick Maduro out of power. He kicks Maduro out of power. And then all of a sudden it's, oh my God, he's a tyrant. How could he do these things? I mean, literally, it's never ending. Ever, ever, ever. That's why I just literally decode the mind virus for you. And I kind of poke him a little bit on the way because it's that easy. All right, here we go. Let's keep on going, people. We got so much to cover, and X seems to be having a bit of a moment, so we're just going to get through this as quickly as possible. The chances of Marco Rubio winning the Republican primary in 2028 doubled in the last 2 days, according to Polymarket. That's interesting. Wonder if it has anything to do with seeming presidential and seeming to completely tear the media completely asunder on live TV today. Probably something like that. For example, this is something that I really want to hit on, and this is actually going to work out really nicely. So, the left needs thought condoms. That's a funny comment. All right. So as we're going through this, again, we've been through all the hypocrisy. We've gone through media. We've gone through Biden. We've gone through 3 different Democratic senators. We've got the socialists raising fares in New York on trains, saying they were going to be free the whole time. And now I've got to show you how the media cannot get on the same page and they cannot figure out why they're so pissed. Because Margaret Brennan at CBS, hopefully this clip works and X doesn't have another moment. But this is a pretty powerful clip. Just listen to the important piece, and then I'll stop. We'll add some commentary. We'll have some fun on this. But guys, the comments, the chats, and the emojis, let's keep on going. Boom! Work. Come on. I have to reload the clips. I mean, I'll do it. I'm not afraid to do it. I will reload all of them. I'll do it. Come on, X. We got work to do. Oh, come on. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to tell you what happens. Luckily, I have transcripts. Okay, fine. Whatever. You're being stupid. Here's the thing that they did, and I'm going to go big for this, so you don't have to keep on watching that. Apparently, X doesn't want to load that video. Awesome. So the underlying principle here of what they're doing is they're going, oh my God, you guys went in and got Nicolas Maduro. That's awful. But when you did, why'd you leave the other 5 guys in place? Why are the other 5 still there? I mean, shouldn't you have gotten those other 5? You probably should have gotten those other 5 too, like the head of police, national security, Ministry of Defense. Why didn't you get those guys? Marco Rubio was looking at her like 5 seconds ago. You're pissed I'm doing one of these guys. Now you want 5 of them. You're pissed at me for not doing all of them. You're pissed at me for doing the one. I mean, so you're just gonna be pissed? I mean, honest to God, guys, that's what you're looking at. It's exactly what you're looking at. They don't know how to land this. I'm going to see if these work because they might not work. But that's okay. We're going to get through this because I can always navigate. That's one of the benefits of being in front of the camera, behind the camera, the producer, and the content and the talent. I mean, my God, it's a one-man show. All right. Let's see if this one decides to work. I got to show George Stephanopoulos. Maybe X just doesn't want to. We'll see. Yeah, no, X doesn't want to. I got to reload my drivers or something. Bottom line, that's not an important one. This is what I want to show you right here. This is one of these lefty talking points. This is one of these lefty talking head channels. This is the kid who is just one of the mouthy little pipsqueaks. I stand with every Venezuelan celebrating the removal of Maduro from office. He was a brutal dictator. You see what I'm saying? How the whole angle of he's a brutal dictator, but. However, this does not excuse Donald Trump from illegally conducting regime change without congressional approval or planning to steal Venezuela's oil to enrich America. See, that's the point. And then he says, in fact, these actions are what give rise to dictators like Maduro. So now Trump's Maduro for getting rid of Maduro. Because it's about oil and getting enrich America. Marco Rubio blew this one out of the water today, and this is one you're going to need to see because they are consistently doing this. And I did a video earlier today, about 3 hours ago, showing you this. I really hope this clip works. If it doesn't, I'll play it again at a different time. Or you can watch the video I just put up. This is the whole point. I'm going to read the actual transcript, and then I'll see if the clip actually decides to play. But Welker, who is the anchor, Kirsten Welker, says, why does the U.S. need Venezuelan oil? Rubio says, why does China need their oil? Russia, Iran, this is the West. This is where we live. They are not going to come from outside of our hemisphere, destabilize our region in our own backyard, and us to have pay the price for it, not under Trump. This is deeply destabilizing stuff. It's not going to happen. This is the whole point. When Dean and all the lefties, and this is the ultimate culmination of how this falls apart, and I'll play the clip in a second, hopefully. They say it's all about oil because they can only see rich versus poor, oppressor versus oppressed. They can only operate through their leftist mind virus lens of the entire world. There can't be anything bigger than the rich people going to rich and the poor people going to poor and oligarchies are going to oligarch. They can't see anything past this, okay? They can't see national security concerns. They can't see Russia, China, and Iran being involved in the only socialist main oil-producing country in South America in our hemisphere. They can't say any of that influence. In fact, you've already seen, and I've shown you, Russian oligarchs lamenting the fact that the United States now has pretty much strategic control of oil petrol reserves in the entire world through our partnership with Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, that strategic strength and they're not being able to destabilize and send 8 million people our way, which would basically undermine our economic infrastructure. You have to understand there are different things, but they don't see this. It's all about oil. It is about oil, but it's not about oil for Americans. It's about oil to prevent the Russians, Chinese, and Iranians from having an outlet with a friendly country, and now they have to go through us. Hey, how long until the Ukraine-Russia war will end without oil? It's leverage. I guarantee you this is going to be used as a leverage point in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Trump or the administration is going to go, I don't know where you're going to get the oil for the rest of this offensive. You might want to step to the table, and Putin's going to go, duh, this is a problem. Or that's not a good, I don't know. I've never heard Putin actually talk anything other than so yeah, maybe it's like that. All right, let's see if this clip works. Let's have some fun. Let's roll the dice. I'm just going to restart my entire computer. There's too much RAM being eaten by all this greatness and freedom. All right, let's see Kirsten and Rubio. Let's see. Roll the dice. Come on. Oh. Okay, but there's good news. I've already told you what they said. Hold on, wait for it. I believe. I believe about this one. Let's see. Come on, X. Come on. See what happens when you believe? You just get hurt. I'm just kidding. I will always have belief, hope, and faith in our amazing country, our amazing people, and the potential for us to really shape the world in a great way. Listen, despite things not always going incredibly perfect, I try to deliver the highest quality, tier 1 level freedom, cut through the propaganda like a knife through fog, peace soup, if you will. And hopefully I do that on every episode. And if I don't, you guys better tell me in the comments. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We are going to get to the bottom of this X shenanigan, and I will come back tomorrow morning with even more greatness about our country, about yourselves, and how we're going to save it together, and I will see you guys on that next one. I love each and every one of you, just the right amount. Later.